What's going on, guys? It's Clippy here, and welcome to the Cup semi-finals of, I don't even know what sevens we're playing in. I think it's the London Sevens. I believe we are playing at Twickenham, and the All Blacks actually playing in their non-traditional all-white uniform as we take on Kenya here. Now, this should be a bit of an easier task than our quarterfinal, which was against Argentina, and that was I wouldn't say a struggle, but it was a game that was very entertaining, I think, for you guys to watch and for me to play as well. I was going to go and just do straight into the final, but I didn't actually have time this week, so we are doing the semi-final. And if we do win that, we will be playing the final next weekend. So, sorry, next. What am I saying? Next week, not next weekend. So, hopefully we can go and. Oh wait. Why have you passed me the ball in that situation, mate? One-on-one, I'm still a newbie in this New Zealand Sevens camp, and I'm not too sure why we've kicked that there. To be honest, when I've watched Sevens, and I think I said this last episode, I don't think I very often have seen a player that has gone and kicked the ball. Sevens is normally a game, or a kick like that. You know, Sevens is probably more of a grubber slash chip and chase game, I would say, more than anything. Oh, we've got an overlap here. Oh, we just can't capitalise on it. Is Declan O'Donnell not playing? Because he normally plays number 7. He normally plays in like that fullback role, I guess you would say. But not playing today. So that is a huge loss to lose him if we have. I don't know. I haven't really kept up too much with, you know, all the ins and the outs, etc. But yeah, normally we'd see that radiant orange here of Declan O'Donnell from the fullback position, I guess you would say. And we have actually had a player go down injured inside the first 2 minutes, which is not... Well, it is pretty common in this game. I was going to say it is very rare that it happens, but it's not, because it does happen. Seems to happen almost every game that we pick up an injury or there's an injury against someone. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a game mechanics or something like that, but... you know, we can't complain. Anyway, big game, big talking point, I guess, in World Rugby this week. Well, I guess there's a couple. I'm not too sure on the second point, but the first one I believe I talked about in Tuesday's video, which is the Super Rugby final being played between the Hurricanes and the Lions on Saturday night. A game that I'll definitely be watching and obviously cheering on the Hurricanes, who are not the hometown team for me, but obviously a New Zealand Conference team, and we always want to see, you know, New Zealand Conference teams win rather than a South African team, because this is where we are from, kind of thing. But we will have to wait and see. It is going to be a tough task, I think, for the Hurricanes. Both teams very, very close in the regular season when it came to points. I think the Hurricanes just pipped the Lions at the end. Well, I think in the final game, I think the Jaguares were playing against the Lions. The Lions put out a second strength team, which in the end cost them first place on the overall leaderboard, which is why the Hurricanes have finished top and why the Hurricanes have got the home town final. And that could potentially come back to haunt the Lions playing that second string side against the Jaguares. You know, it has cost them a home final, and that is quite a big... you know, quite a big thing. People say that playing at home, playing away, there isn't much difference. But, you know, I guess the travel is one thing that you got to take into consideration, especially from New Zealand to South Africa. If it was New Zealand to Australia, it wouldn't be as fast because it's only going to take, you know, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. But a trip to South Africa, hell of a lot longer than that. So you do have to take that into account. And I guess just the hometown support, you know, you can do the build-up your way, you know, during the week, and, you know, just do things, I guess, on your, you know, the way you want to do them. And that does go and make a big difference. So we will wait and see if that is enough for the Hurricanes to go and get up over the line. Go, boy. Whew! Who needs Declan O'Donnell? Whoever this kid is, he has got some serious speed on the outside, and he has gone and dotted down for his first try. Again, I'm not 100% sure who it is. We may get, I was going to say confirmation soon. Oh, Iani! One of the Iani brothers, who I think are playing for the Blues. And I think it may be this guy, possibly his brother, that I have signed in my Crusaders career mode. So if he is that electric and that quick, I'm really looking forward to using him. I may have to get him on now and try and have a reshuffle of the back line just to get him in. But Yeah, there is two brothers, two Iani brothers, I believe it is pronounced. And I think the one I have plays in the centres, so it may not be this one because I believe the other one plays on the wing and plays fullback as well. And I'm not too sure about this tactic from Kenya of kicking the ball away, especially when you're down 10-0. You need to get your hands on the ball and, you know, just keep your hands on the ball. Try and get some points on the board with only 1 minute left until the half-time interval. You do really want to go and, you know, just try and get something. And there we are again, that electric pace. How this kid has not been starting, I don't know, because he is going to go almost half the length of the field and put it down for his second try. Now remember, I believe this is only his first game of the tournament that he has played. It'll be very hard for Declan O'Donnell to come back and get his spot back in the side as well, because we are all of a sudden out to a 15-point lead. It could be 21, but you know, now at the moment, only 2 converted tries and a drop goal away from conceding the lead. So that is how important conversions are, not only in sevens, but I think, you know, in normal 15-a-side rugby as well. So hopefully we can go and do something. And I thought we were potentially there for a second, going to go down with another injury, but not the case. We have ticked over to the 7 minutes. So the next out is going to be the end of proceedings here in the first half, and I will get to that second point. I did say there were 2 talking points in rugby at the moment, so I will get to that one, which is quite a major one in the second half, but we do need to go and just get the end of the game here, and hopefully we can do it with I was going to say with a turnover for myself. If I'd stayed in the ruck, potentially we could have gone and won that again, but I'm not too sure why I went out in the first place, and now there is a little bit of an overlap. But we will go. We'll take... Oh, I was going to say, we were very, very close in the breakdown there to winning the ball. We just need to get them isolated. As soon as we get them isolated, a situation like that, and someone doesn't get up over the ball, we can just go and turn that over time and time again. So, Kenya aren't... I was going to say, they aren't giving up without a fight. And hopefully... There we go, boys. We do get the turnover. Kick that for touch. Beautiful. That's what we like to see. Take it into the break with the Kenyans with their heads down. And as we can see, the possession, and this has been, I guess, a story of this tournament, the possession and the territory haven't been in our favour. But when we have had the opportunities, we have gone and put them away. So hopefully we can do that again here in the second half. And I mean, there is another prime example. We can see down the bottom there, we have only run 13 of our 29 running metres. So we have not had our hands on the ball a hell of a lot. Neither have the whole New Zealand side. But as I said, when we do have an opportunity and when we do have our hands on the ball and we are in a good field position, we are just scoring tries and we can't complain about that there. And as we said, this game against Kenya, you know, it was a very hard quarterfinal coming up against Argentina. Kenya should be a hell of a lot easier task. And the sooner I can get the goal kicking duties in this team, the better, because that is the 4th conversion we've missed. I think last time around we had... I think it was a combined from the teams. I think about 2 from 7. And I didn't think that was going to go to 10 for a moment. But we have gone and made a good covering tackle. But not a whole lot of time left. Right, before I do go and forget, the second point I was going to go and talk about, which is a big thing, you know, for world rugby. And the Kenyan speedster, just as I get interrupted, is going to go in. I was going to say in the corner, but he's actually sidestepped a few players and got a little bit closer to the post. So, well done to that man. But the Rio Olympics and obviously Rugby Sevens is going to be in there. A lot of talk about that. There's a lot of talk about sports that, you know, are being talked about being included in the Olympic Games or have been included in recent times. You know, Rugby Sevens is obviously one that's come back. Golf, I believe, is included in this Olympics. I'm not sure if it's the first time ever or if it's just the first time in a while. And another one they are talking about is T20 cricket possibly being brought into the Olympics. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. And I got to get some kicking meters too. So let's hope we can get enough from there. Oh, 47. Just continue to roll ball. It's actually not a bad kick. Not a bad kick whatsoever. So 20-5. And I'm not too sure entirely what has happened there, because the tackle seemed to be made. And I still don't understand this tactic from Kenya. Just kicking the ball out. It just... Oh, that's not going to be straight. Oh, ref doesn't call it though. We'll take that. we will definitely take that. But yeah, the Olympics, as I said, I'm not 100% sure when the sevens is actually starting. I guess, well, not the format of how the Olympics works, but certain events do happen, earlier on in the piece, and then team events maybe start a wee bit later on. So, as I said, I'm not 100% sure, if it is going to start straight away, or if it's going to start in the second week, or, what the guts is. But I'm sure that we will all find out from myself. And where are our players? Honestly, I said this was going to be an easier game, but Kenya's come back in the second half, and they are now starting to make that position and territory count. And we could potentially look back at those misconversions, as quite costly, especially seeing that one there has gone smack bang down the middle from the Kenyans. And all of a sudden, we are only 8 points ahead with still about 3 minutes left to go on the clock. So there is still a lot of time left for a Kenyan comeback. There is also a lot of time for us if we can manage to go and you know what? We're just gonna play field position. I was gonna say there is a lot of time if we can go. That's a great kick. That's a great kick. I thought our player had actually got there first, to be honest, but this is going to wear down just a little bit more time. But we can counter-attack in this situation. And look, we're just driving by ourselves. It was just a one-man drive for a second, and we've just gone, surely that must count as our running meters. We haven't technically run, we've been driven, but, we will take it. DJ Forbes. Oh, just can't get the offload away. If the offload was away there, you would have to say that that will be lights out for this Kenyan side, who have put up a very, very good fight in this semi-final. But there's a try. It is close to the post. The margin is now 13. The kick to come does make it quite crucial. It does make it that 15-point buffer, which is more than 2 converted tries. But whew, it has been taken. It has been taken, it's been put over, and it was a little bit nervous there for a second that, the Kenyans were going to come back in the second half, but New Zealand, I guess, showing, they are a power force when it comes to not only rugby sevens, but just rugby in general. But saying that, we do need to be careful. Oh, Iani, where have you been all my life? Honestly, to chase that down, the determination, that, it doesn't seem entirely that crucial, and it's a good strip from DJ Forms. But that's one thing that I do not like about this game, and I think I have gone over that a little bit, is that when you are contesting in the ruck, I'm not sure if you need to hold down the square or tap it repeatedly like I do, but because when you tap it repeatedly, if you do win that ball from the contest, we shall say, that it does go and gives you the option, I guess, it doesn't make you kick, but that's the default setting to kick the ball for touch. So, that is a little bit annoying there. And that is, well, we are actually coming back for the scrum, surprisingly. And just 20 seconds left, so by the time we put this ball into the scrum, and by the time we get it out, it should be just about time to put the ball into touch. New Zealand will move on to the final. Where are you going? Come back this way. I want to get my running meters up. Yeah, put me into touch. That's alright. We don't mind that. New Zealand move on to the final. We'll be playing that next Thursday. Again, not 100% sure who we are coming up, but it is going to be a tough test nonetheless. Shout out to Kenya. They've put up a good fight here. 27-12. You can't complain about how they went. Few things to work on for our boys. Goal kicking will be one of the main ones, so hopefully we can fix that up heading into the final and heading into future tournaments as well. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to leave a like. If you are new, please do subscribe. Make sure you check out my Facebook and Twitter links. That can be found down below in the description. Hope you're having a good week so far. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I've got more Don Bradman, My Career Reborn, coming your guys' way. Make sure you do not miss that.